Alright, this is section C. Starting in, I'm going to back up enough to where I can see the clearance lights. And the clearance lights are amber in color and they're clean. Properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. This is my header board. There's 4 places on this trailer that I'm going to call out is cargo ready. One is the header board, okay? Header board, side, the floor underneath, and the back, all right? Don't forget to mention rivets, okay? So my header board, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. All the rivets are in place, and it's cargo ready, all right?
Pause.
The side of my trailer, just like it's called out, the side of my trailer, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. It's not missing any rivets. It's got at least 50% of my trailer covered in DOT reflective tape, and it's cargo ready. Okay? I'm going to kneel down here. Now this right here is your apron. This big old chunk of steel right here is your apron. This is something that you're going to be typically calling out when you're doing the 5th wheel coupling, but I'm pointing it out now because it's detached and you can see clearly what it is. So this being your apron, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware, there's no illegal holes or welds. This right here is your kingpin. That's your kingpin. Properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. Now when you're doing your 5th wheel coupling, you're going to look from the back forward and you're going to call out that my locking jaws are properly mounted and secured and locked around the shank portion of my kingpin. The shank portion is this little hollowed out section right there. Okay? Now I'm going to get out and go back. When I get to the landing gear, I'm going to kneel down because there's 2 things I want to call out before I hit the landing gear. One is the cross members that run all the way up and down this trailer and the floor. So my cross members, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. There's no illegal holes or welds. My floor, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware, and it's cargo ready. Okay, now this being my landing gear, there's a couple of components I need to call out. So I've got my cross members in the middle, I've got my frame right here, got my leg, I got my foot, I've got my crank and my crank handle. So here it is in test mode. My landing gear, cross members, my frame, my leg, and my foot are properly mounted and secured. Not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. My foot is clean of any debris. And remember this one because a lot of students are forgetting this. My landing gear are raised all the way up. My crank is operational, and my handle is properly secured. Okay? Brings me back. What is this?
Walker light, signal light, forward flasher.
It works. Marker signal flasher. A marker signal flasher is amber in color and clean, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. Right about here, I'm going to climb in. I'm going to scoot right into the middle of this thing, sit my butt down on the ground, and just take my time looking and calling out anything I see. Remember that you want to call out what you see, but make sure you don't call out what you don't see. Because this is where it changes a little bit depending on what type of a trailer you're inspecting on. In this case here, I've got an air ride system. I see, along with my brake chamber and brake hoses and all that, I also see a shock absorber and an airbag, okay? That trailer next to us over there does not have that, but they do have a couple other things over there that this one doesn't. So I'm going to point that out when we're done with this, okay? First thing I want to talk about are my air hoses. My air hoses and my electric line. Properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. There's no abrasions, bubbles, cuts, dry rot, or frays, and they're not leaking. My electric cable doesn't have any illegal tape, splices, and the insulation is not brittle and frayed. Brake hoses, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. No abrasions, bubbles, cuts, dry rot, or frays, and they're not leaking. My brake chamber and clamp. My brake chamber and clamp, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware, and it's not leaking. Now if I look down there, I can see my slack adjuster and my push rod. Good. Okay, my slack adjuster and push rod on the back tandems and on the back drives are on the back of the unit, okay? Whereas up in the stairs are up in the front. So my slack adjuster and push rod, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. And with the brakes released, I can't pull more than 1 inch of slack. I've got a shock absorber, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware, and it's not leaking. I see an airbag, so my airbag mount, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. My airbag, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. There's no abrasions, bubbles, cuts, dry rot, or frays, and it's not leaking. My tandem frame, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. There's no illegal holes or welds. Okay, now I'm going to work my way out. My brake assembly minus what? My brake lining and brake drum, right? The last two things that will actually stop you. So before I pull all the way out from this area, before I forget, I'm going to hit my brake drum and brake lining. Brake drum and brake lining, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. My brake lining is not worn dangerously thin or less than 1/4 inch of lining. My brake drum and lining area is free of any oil, grease, or debris. Okay? Now, this right here is your tandem release. Okay? The inspectors were saying they don't need to hear button, handle, anything else. They just need to hear tandem release. So, my tandem release, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. I'm going to throw out that it's not leaking because it's air powered, this being an air ride system. These are your tandem release pins. You got one here and one all the way back there. Tandem release pins, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware, and they're in the locked position. Okay? This is your tandem rail. You don't have to call that out because it's not in your paperwork, but I'm just showing it to you. This is the rail that your tandem's actually ride up and down on. You pull that out, those pins pop in, you jump in your rig and you move back and forward, and that repositions with these locked. It repositions your tandems to your trailer for weight distribution, whatnot. Okay? So, I've got all the inside components here. I've already talked about my tandem frame. Now I'm going to start working my way out. Same thing I did on my drives, okay? My wheels, plural, both my wheels are evenly worn. There's no less than 230 seconds tread on my major tread grooves. My bud spacing, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. There's no debris, and the tires are evenly spaced. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's going to bring me out. My tires are properly seated against my rims. They're not leaking. My rims, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. There's no illegal holes or welds. My lug nuts, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. There's no rust trails that would indicate looseness. There's no shiny thread that would indicate a cross thread. My axle seal, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware, and it's not leaking. Okay, that brings me back here. I don't know what to call this other than my trailer hook latch. My door trailer hook latch. Properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. This right here is your ABS light. ABS light is amber in color and clean. Properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. Marker light. Notice how I didn't say marker signal flasher. Marker. Marker light. Red in color and clean. Properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. Brings you to the back. Watch out for that fence. The fence is hot. All right. Looking from top down, always go top down. I've got my clearance lights, red in color and clean. Properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. My trailer hinges. All my hinges, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. My trailer door latch. Properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. And they're operational. My trailer door locks. Properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. My door rings. Both are present, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. My doors themselves, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware, and it's cargo ready. Don't forget, okay, on my doors, I also have 100% covering and with the DOT reflective tape, and it's clean. Don't forget when you're doing the doors, take enough time to remember, you've got this rubber seal going around it. My rubber seal is properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. There's no abrasions, bubbles, cuts, dry rot, or frays, and it's not leaking. Okay? Brings you down to your lights. Same thing I did up there in the drives. My markers, my running lights, my tail lights, my blinkers, and my emergency flashers. They're red in color. Properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. Brings you down to your DOT bumper. Properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any hardware. There's no illegal holes or welds. And the bumper itself has 100% of it covered in DOT reflective tape, and it's clean. Now, I'm going to do the same thing all the way down the passenger side of the rig. Now you're done. That's section C. All you have to do is get to the point of saying, now I'm going to do the same thing on the passenger side, you're done. So if you get section C or you get section D, you're calling out all that stuff from the front of your rig all the way to the back doors. Once you get done with the back doors all the way down to the DOT bumper, now I'm going to do the same thing on the passenger side. And you're done with your test. You're done with the external part of your test.